Hello, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. Yes, I am back from the land of Oz, where there was no power for 10 or 11 hours. And it's a hello on a Monday Night Live from myself and Jenny Paul from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghosts, Abnormal Paranormal. Welcome, boys. And Luke, one of our investigators. So we had a power cut in Spain last Monday, so we couldn't join in. We had 11 hours of no food, no water, no drinking. But all in all, a good week away in Spain in the rain. So you had all the sunshine here. We had all your rain over there. So we're as white as we are when we first went. So if you go to Spain, give it a miss. It's just raining. Good evening, Ghost Dragon Investigations. Welcome tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about an investigation at Shepton Mallet Prison that the team did with Paranation on Saturday night. By all accounts, they had a really, really good night. So if you were there and you're watching, please send in your comments or your adventures there on Saturday night. You would have seen the boys and Luke, myself. Obviously, we were in Spain and Angela was away for the long weekend. So hope you all enjoyed a good night at Shepton Mallet. It's always a good place to be. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll go over to the boys and Luke, and they'll just talk us through what had gone on that night. Hopefully at some stage Julie will drop in and she can give her account as well. So by all accounts and the pictures that we've seen, there's been some good investigations, some good contact there that night, Saturday night, albeit the boys are saying a little bit earlier it's a little bit negative. So we hear about their experiences there. Angela may have to pop off. Ghost Dragon Investigations, great location, Shepton Mallet. Yeah, I think the boys, that's one of your favourite places, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
If you see Angela disappear and a young man come on the screen, don't panic. She hasn't gone anywhere. She's just gone to pick Ben up from he's been in London all day doing the VE celebration. So well done him. Very proud of you. Well done. So here we go then. So Saturday night, boys and Luke. You had a good night. Was it a full house or how many people were there?
I think there's about 50 to start with. Yeah, about
50. 50.
Well, it's 30, no, it's 30, I think. 30. I think it's less than 50, I think.
Yeah. I think that's what Julia said because I asked her when we got in, and I think she said about 50. I think she said she was
maybe.
Blimey. I think it was there.
When I looked at it, it was less, but
yeah. Any faces we knew?
Quite the usual. I think people who go on the events, but there was quite a lot of new people. I think as well.
PSI, hi guys. Hope you're all good. Hi, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. We're just hearing about the boys' investigation, Shepton Mallet. Was it a free roam?
Yeah, it was free roam.
Yeah.
Most of Paranation stuff is a free roam anyway. She does a structured like a light walkabout, doesn't she? Just show you the basics around. And then generally you're just left to your own accord, or you can join up with a group or whatever. You can just attach yourself. If you're newbies, it's always worth hooking with a group and getting your head in there and getting right on the wall front. Yeah, so boys, crack on. Tell us a bit about Saturday night then.
Well, so me and Ben, basically from the start, we split off.
They went that way, we went this way.
Yeah. what we usually do with Shepton Mallet, because everyone goes to have a look around the actual cells and stuff, but we got a routine. We usually start in the morgue, in the morgue area, and basically, it just started from there. Really, it was just already like things were happening, like our REM pods were going off. To actually asking and let go, and I think your EMF was going off, isn't it?
EMF, that went off a couple of times.
Because you got like the famous prisoners room with
all the serial killers.
Yeah, all the serial killers and stuff.
Room.
Yeah, and then you've got the actual morgue room which is attached to it.
Quite active in there.
Yeah, so Ben was in the serial killer room, and I was in the morgue area just on my own. And it was just. I just felt like I wasn't alone in there. I knew I wasn't alone.
Last four.
Yeah.
Last time we were there.
Yeah. So
that's always active in there.
Ghost Dragon investigations. How do you find the cross contamination with people wandering around? Good question.
Yeah, we don't really see anyone throughout the whole night, do we?
Not really. And when we did see people, they were always respectful. When we were upstairs, I think it might have been just before or after.
Yeah, it's at like the end of the night when people are like wandering around. And
we were up in, I think, in D Wing. That after I took that video that I sent to you, Angela, basically there was I think they were newbies, and they were like just watching what we were doing when we were investigating inside that room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so. But they were respectful, so they were listening quietly and just watching what we were doing, sort of thing. So
that's nice. That's good, isn't it, when they do that?
Yeah,
because it's so easy to be doing EVPs, and we know we've done them ourselves, haven't we? When we've all been together, and it's very difficult to get cross contamination. You hear someone laughing down the corridor or the voices. It's difficult, and in the prison, and imagine the voices must travel as well.
Yeah, it does echo a bit, especially in the cell blocks.
Yeah.
It does echo.
So what else did you get? So you had a video, PSI. What documentation methods do you guys use?
Well, we got video. If you mean like recording, we do voice recorders. We've got 2 video cameras each. That's about it, really. Yeah.
Do you you know, when you do an EVP, do you say where you are before you start the EVP? Like cell D wing, H wing, C wing, cell 7, EVP.
Yeah, we usually say where we are.
Yeah, like if we're near a cell.
Like, or where we are in, like, it's a bit like if you're, say, at Shepton Mount prison, you say you're at Shepton Mount prison, don't you, before, you know. But yeah,
it just helps identify the clip, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because otherwise, all your clips can get so muddled up, can't they? Really?
Yeah. Believe me. You think, well, where was I when that happened? It does happen. Ghost Dragon investigation. I can imagine it's hard to debunk voices and knocks.
Sometimes, yeah.
It is sometimes. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. If there's a lot of people around, I think that's why we went the other way as well.
Yeah, because when you're on your own,
we know
when you're on your own, because it's so big, obviously. You can easily be in a cell block on your own, like just 2 of you. Because obviously if there's newbies and they all stick in a group, they'll be somewhere else. And yeah, it's big enough to be on your own. That's what's good about Shepton, I think.
Yeah, it's such a big venue, isn't it? And you could be on your own for hours, couldn't you? Sorry, Angel.
Oh, yeah.
What would you
I
say?
remember an investigation we did once. I can't remember where it was, but it was like a cottage or a house, and there was like a group upstairs and a group downstairs, and we were both doing like a can you copy this knock or something? And so they were doing it upstairs and they knocked, and then we thought it was like somebody else knocking back, and it was actually upstairs. So we all got a bit confused. Like, was that? Who was it?
That's
difficult in a smaller setting when there's
you
can't have the space.
It's good for that, isn't it? Because you can spread out and not see anybody for hours, really, can't you? On your wander.
Yeah.
So you're on a cell block on your own. You're on your own. Ghost Dragon investigations, like you said, the accounts in Shepton are incredibly loud, especially for a large prison. The acoustics, sorry, I missed that. The acoustics are very loud. It can be, they can echo for quite a distance. So, you've got to sort of bear that in mind when you hear something on your voice recorder, isn't it? You just sort of think, is that a corridor or is that upstairs?
Especially when you're in the cell blocks, the noise does travel quite far.
Yeah, but sometimes you can pinpoint where the sound is coming from as well. Like if there's a knock, like I was hearing a lot of knocks by one of the stairs, and I knew it was like top right from where I was, like, but it happened like a couple times. So, and there was no one up there as well. So, what was it?
Have you ever wondered that when you hear a knock and it's in the top right, and then you go to the top right and it sounds like it's back down the left?
Yeah.
A few times we've had that. Somebody says, "Oh, that knock's coming from where you are." I think we had that in Norfolk, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you remember? We heard a noise or whatever, and somebody said, "Oh no, it's your end." We said, "No, that's your end," and we couldn't really decipher which end it was coming from. Have you ever tried that where you've gone up there and it sounds like it's back the other way? PSI says that a sort of location you have to be aware of infrasound. And not so much infrasound, but the sound does travel because it's very acoustic. Because it's empty, I mean, the cells have got the beds in and there's no mattresses or anything in the actual wing to absorb any sound, is there? It's quite bare. Hi, Dora. Welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. So they're quite bare, aren't they, the cells in there? And like, you could hear someone, I'd imagine, on another, in a corridor or... What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
we did hear
people at times, but as well, like, we were trying to respect them as well. So we know everyone that everyone else is investigating, so you don't want to be too loud yourself as well. But we kept ourselves to ourselves quite a lot of the time, didn't we?
Yeah, because we can be quite loud sometimes.
Definitely.
Especially when you get a knock or a tap on your shoulder.
Scream.
Hi, Gemma. Good evening. Welcome. Hi, it's Gemma. Prison was so good. Something very odd happened to myself and Julia. I can't stop thinking about it. So we went to look around the start and went to look around. It's a bit small, this writing for me. It's a bit small for me.
I started to get a sore neck, like when you slept funny. I kept it to myself, and then Julia said, "Gosh, my neck has started to hurt." So I said, "So is mine." We then went back to base, and a couple of people who were there with us looked at the map and said we were at the execution area. I was gobsmacked. My neck was hurting.
Wow. What do you think of that then?
Yeah, Gemma spoke to us about that when I think not long after, maybe. Just as we arrived, actually. It was at the start. So, yeah, I mean, that's very interesting, isn't it? Especially being in the execution area, very interesting.
Dan Winstanley said it. Good evening. Good evening, Dan. Welcome. I mean, could that be residual energy that they're feeling there? It's funny how both of them got the same type of thing, isn't it? And being in that area, that's
one on my head. You did.
No man, my head. Yeah.
What about you, Luke?
My mum's at the execution area. My mum thought she saw someone with no head standing in there.
No head.
Oh.
No head.
What was your experience in there then, Luke? Tell us a bit about you.
I didn't feel very good in that bit. I felt sick when I first went in there, and then it was like draining my energy. I felt really tired most of the night.
We did.
Messed me up a bit in there.
What? And that's in the execution chamber, yeah?
Yeah, it just didn't. So it's like all the happiness is gone. There's no happiness whatsoever. Just to kind of explain is like beyond sad. There's no happiness in there. It's just a horrible feeling in there.
Yeah.
I feel more in that prison.
You felt more this time than any other time?
No,
I felt more in the past as well. In the infirmary, I had to sit down. I kind of slept for a bit because I was so tired. In the infirmary, I felt ill. It affected me in both areas.
Really? Did you ask anybody else, Luke, if they were affected by it, or?
I just felt too drained to speak, really.
Well, sometimes you've got to talk to other people and see what they're experiencing, you know, because that could be a time that you need to come out into the fresh air.
Yeah, that's what we did.
We had to do that.
Did you?
Yeah, after we were in the B wing, we had a bit of a bad experience on the board, and it just felt awful. The chair that I was sitting on, basically, it felt like somebody had gone like that to the chair.
Oh wow!
It was coming through with bad, like evil demons and stuff like that. We think it was a prisoner, just a horrible prisoner, just messing around with us.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel good in there, and we had to take 10 minutes which we've not really done before. We've never
had bad experiences on the board.
But it just felt really bad in there.
But the good thing is that you noticed something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like our K2s were going off like crazy, like straight to red as well. Quite a strong energy.
So that EMF, if there's a strong EMF, will make you feel sick anyway, isn't it? If there's a strong electromagnetic frequency within the room, that can also make you feel very tired, very sick. You need to look at the warning signs, Luke, and get outside when it's like the boys say. You know, sometimes it's worth taking 10 minutes and walk outside, get some fresh air. If it becomes too much, like you say, you sat there and then had a little sleep. Do you not think that you were still sleeping in the negative energy?
I just felt like I was like a patient in there, in a weird way.
And would that not have been the sign to walk out, Luke, and get some fresh air?
I couldn't move.
Really heavy as well. Like
my energy was too heavy to move.
So basically, the energy had taken over our legs. Both of our legs felt like we'd been for like a 5-mile run. We were both. Our legs felt heavy, really, really heavy. But we knew we had to just get out of there. Get out of the situation and just get ourselves
close to
out for like 10 minutes.
It didn't say goodbye. We forced it to go.
Yeah. Well done, you. Well done, you. That's a good thing to do. And that's noticing when something's not right. A lot of times people try and push past that, don't they? Dora's put, when I was there last time, I felt sick or dizzy in a few places. You know, some negative energy is going to do that, but it's looking at that energy and knowing when to get out is what makes you a good investigator, doesn't it? I have never experienced anything like that being on a ghost hunt. How can your neck of all suddenly hurt like you have been slept funny, and when you enter the room and leave it, you're with a sore neck a good half an hour and then completely disappears? Because that, to me, Gemma, would indicate residual energy.
Energy.
Yeah. I don't think it's intelligent energy. I think what you're walking into is residual energy of someone being hung.
Yeah.
You know, because like you say, when you left, it stopped. Was the chapel open? Go straight and investigate.
Unfortunately, not again. No.
Is it still shut? What are they doing to it? Did they say what they were doing?
They didn't say.
I went to the stairs with it though.
Did you?
I went near the stairs with it. I walked up the steps a bit.
It's a shame because that's quite active, that chapel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good inside the chapel, yeah.
I remember myself and Jem went once. I don't know whether I told you the story. And the tour guide, we were a little bit early. She said, well, I'll take you up to the chapel, just sort of show you the chapel area so you can have a look around and blah, blah, blah. So we walked up there and she unlocked the chapel and in we went. And she's obviously saying to us, you know, any doors that are unlocked, you know, go in and obviously please be respectful, which you are. You know, you need to be respectful for wherever you are, whether it's a prison, you know, a hospital, whatever. So it's always about being respectful to the surroundings and the spirits there. So as we walked in, we all walked in, there's about 3 or 4 of us, I think. And as we walked in, there was a coffin up on a stand by the front of the chapel. and all the
Remember that,
chairs sat
yeah.
out all by the side of it. I don't know if you've heard this story, boys.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I don't think I
I
have.
don't know.
So we walked in, and even the tour guide went, "Oh, all right, okay, right, maybe it's a film prop." And then like Jem was there, and she said, "It doesn't smell like a film prop." So we wandered around the chapel with this white coffin up on the stands, like they were going to have a service,
Mm.
and there was someone in there.
Oh.
Was there?
Yeah. And she said, "I think we ought to leave the room a bit quick." And even that, in there, it felt.
Well, you could smell the embalming
You
fluid.
smell the embalming fluid in there.
Hmm.
So she hadn't realised that they were going to hold a service the next morning. Nobody had told her there was a coffin in that chapel.
Mm.
So it was a bit of a surprise to her, us, and I think she looked out and said the chapel was out of bounds, which is fair enough. That's someone going to have a service the following day there, which is fair enough. You are complete, but she was as surprised as we were as we went in. So, that was our experience in the chapel. It's a lovely, beautiful place, so well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's gone on up there that you can't get up there. So how about the 2 granary rooms, Ghost Dragon Investigations? Did you go there?
Which rooms are they?
No idea.
Not too sure
Sure.
where they are.
Just give us an
Might not
idea
be.
of which rooms they are, please. Ghost Dragon Investigation. Did you go to the Dora's put when I went there in the half term with the kids in the daytime? As to the museum trip, we couldn't go to the chapel, and all locked up and maintenance. It was said.
No. Elsie doing work up there or something.
Did you go to the old Victorian cells?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did
we
you get on it? How did you get on in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some good stuff in there.
Wait, your torch kept going on and off.
Yeah, that was weird.
Flickering.
All right.
Mm. So that
What's
could
that?
be energy, like.
Yeah, it was almost like the torch was getting just drained a bit, and it was like flashing. It was like going down really
It's
dim,
like
and then it was
dim.
going back up.
Yeah.
Did you ask for that to
Out of
happen?
the room, I was like, I pressed it on and off about 4 or 5 times just to make sure it's fine, and it was all right.
Mm.
Did you ask for that to happen, or it just naturally did that?
We were just asking it because we had some of our devices
Yeah.
around the room, so we were just asking it to interact with one of our devices, but
It might have been interacting with you.
I didn't realise at the time I'd left my torch on the floor.
Yeah. I saw it.
So obviously, it probably saw the light maybe, and
Yeah.
to interact with that. It might have been easier for them, I guess, because it was like on already.
Ghost Dragon Investigations, but they are the 2 large rooms on the outer area near the main gate.
I don't think so.
No. Don't know if they're open or.
I remember now.
No, I don't
Did you
think so.
try? Did you go to there, Luke? Did you try there?
No, I can't remember now. I don't remember that bit.
I don't know
Don't
whether
think
Gemma,
I did, no.
Gemma, did you go there with Julia or whatever? Be interested to know if anybody went there. Don't sound like anybody knew where they were, does it?
No, I don't think.
Don't think we went there.
I think I know what you mean. They're the 2 buildings that are just inside the gates.
Yeah. I don't
Almost
know,
like
I don't know if they're open. Like.
they're almost like where maybe security would be when.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, as you go in on the left-hand side.
I don't know if that's the buildings that Ghost Dragon's on about. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Or the
I don't
tower.
know.
Or maybe a tower.
Dora's put on the 16th century cells when I saw that arm through the bars and nearly wet myself. Nearly went with a wall to get out.
Mm.
I think she means it frightened her. Which is
Yeah.
odd. I think one of them cells has a mannequin in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you call
Yeah.
through, don't you? And there's a mannequin, isn't there, in the wall?
That's always a good thing to have in a cell, isn't it? On a ghost hunt, there's a mannequin in the corner. Infinity Paranormal was put. The granary rooms were in the other building that's been sold, I think.
Ah.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll maybe explain that then.
Mm.
So where else did you venture then?
All over really.
Yeah, like where the crays were.
Yeah, we had some good interaction.
Yeah.
I went into that cell, and I had some good. I think my REM pod was going off in there. Yeah, which was quite interesting.
That's cell 7, isn't it? On
Yeah.
C Wing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in C Wing. Yeah, and we were also with Luke in C Wing near the end of the night, weren't we, Luke?
Yeah, it was a few good. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually heard some so it sounded like someone walking, didn't it, above?
There's quite a lot of noises in that, but yeah.
Yeah, but that was towards the end of the night. Most people had gone home by then. We were the last. I think we were the last 3 out investigating. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the
lady come out.
the lady come in and got us. Said was knocking
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Could have left you in there overnight, couldn't she?
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind, don't. Wouldn't mind.
And she had to come and find you, did she?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
What time was that then?
Oh, I think-
3:30, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
You done well to keep going all that time.
Yeah.
Dora's put a mannequin arm on the bars, and it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So what else did you get there? You were saying earlier about some negativity build up there.
Yeah, so I think it might have just been B-Wing, maybe a bad prisoner B-Wing.
'Cause I was thinking, like, if you did table tipping now, I think that would work really well because how strong it was, like on the board and.
Obviously, if obviously Julia's not on, but when we were sat in, me, Luke, and Ben were sat on one table, and Luke, Mark, and his partner were sat on the table in front of us, and the spirit, which was the same table that we were doing the board on earlier in the night. And I said to Julia, I said, watch out, because I think there's a very strong energy around that area. So I wouldn't be surprised if a strong energy comes through. And I think it's on the Paranation website, but the video of her laser grid going on and off, like the lights get switched on and off. So that was literally in B-Wing as well. Yeah.
That's in the same area as you were.
Yeah. But I did say to her, I thought there was a real strong. I think there's a real strong energy spirit in there in B-Wing.
Ghost Dragon Investigations, but table tipping is amazing in B-Wing.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
So what was your feeling? It was a soldier, a prisoner. What was it a warden? What was your feeling?
I think it's a prisoner.
A bad prisoner. Like maybe someone who was like
aggressive,
who was in charge of the wing. You know, there's always that one person in the wing, isn't there?
Right. Yeah.
Who's like the go-to guy, that sort of character.
Because we had 2 spirits come before, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's like he pushed them off the board. Like I'm coming on now, basically. Like
And did you get a name or anything?
No, it was literally messing this up.
Yeah, he was being a bit sly about telling names. I think.
Yeah. Couldn't get any information out of him.
No, not really.
Right.
He didn't want to give much away, but you know, when he started saying that, you know, when we were asking what you are, and he was going spell out evil, and we asked his name, and it was starting to spell demon.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just like no.
And that's when we kind of ground ourselves. We were like, right, we don't want anything bad to come through. We don't accept any of this. You know.
Yeah.
We asked if it understood. It went yes, and then we said, right, if you're going to mess around with us, you need to take it to goodbye, and that's it. You stay where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know, but my chair literally just got hit like that. It was hit like that. It was.
Oh, no.
I don't know if Ben was filming at the time on the video camera. I can't remember. It was such a blur that moment. But but I got up because I was like, what the hell? Something just hit my chair. But there was no one else in there with us at that time in B-Wing. We were on our own.
So do you think that was deliberate strike on the chair?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Probably pissed it off.
A bit like a warning as well.
Yeah, just annoyed it.
Maybe whoever it is likes young boys.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it was known, wasn't it? Yeah. Before it closed, it did have a lot of wrong people in there.
Yeah.
So
Ghost Dragon's Face, a lot of spirits will use the evil and demon as a scare factor. Yeah.
It felt
That's
like,
that's what we thought, and that's why we thought it's got to be a bad prisoner just trying to mess around with us. I think just toying with us.
it worked.
Yeah, it worked, you know.
How funny.
But,
So what? So where did you go from that wing to?
well, before that, I don't know if Andrew's got the video, but we were in D wing, and so where we last year when we went to Shepton with Paranation, on the stairs that go down in D wing. Basically, we took a picture down. I think it was Martin took a picture, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it showed a face on the stairs, like someone was watching us, but we could feel there was someone in that like hallway. But before that, when we were in, it was like the room opposite. I think it was the stairs. We got good table tipping, good glass action, and that's when Julia was up there. Then we obviously got the picture on the stairs. So we decided to go up there again, and we got
a little bit.
Yeah, little bits going on. The cat ball went off, and it was quite interesting to be honest. It just looked like something come away from the cat ball afterwards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Oh my god, that's so weird. I said camera. Oh yeah, there's a massive, absolutely.
Yeah, they look like it come away from it after.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so weird. I said camera. Oh yeah, there's a massive, absolutely.
It seems to stop flashing when that comes out, doesn't it?
It did, yeah. Because we stopped filming because we were thinking, oh, maybe it's camera shy, and then I saw the ball was going off. So the quickest, because I put my camera on the floor, the quickest thing for me to do was go into my phone in my pocket, swipe it, and take just quickly photos. I was just pressing the button.
Yeah.
And that's what I just captured. So.
And have you been through your videos? Have you?
Got to go through them, but there's a lot to go through because obviously we done the ancient ramen, didn't we, on Tuesday night as well? So
how did you get on in there?
that was really good. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, it was just us two. See,
yeah. So we were getting stuff.
We just done it. It was just me and Ben. We just hired it, just the two of us. So
nice.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper midweek then?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, you basically just pay per person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is better, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Doing it on trying to get it for a weekend because
weekend's probably a lot more.
I think they charge a lot more on the weekend, but in the midweek they charge basically per person.
Right.
But that was really interesting. Really.
We haven't been there for quite a while.
We haven't been there, but when you know it's just you two in the building as well, you can kind of eliminate stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
You can sort of relax, can't you?
Yeah. We can be. It's hard to relax in that place at the same time.
So what did you get? What happened to you there then?
Well, we did a really interesting Esther's method, didn't we, in the bishop's room
and witch's room
but the one in the bishop's room was really weird because at first we were just calling out. Like I think I was near the door, sat in a chair, and Ben was sat opposite me by the fireplace. And Ben will tell you about it.
I got touched on the side, like a really cold hand going up my side like that, and that freaked me out a bit. So,
there was definitely something.
Footsteps outside.
Yeah, you could hear we had the bishop's room closed, and you could just hear outside it just someone
walking
just outside it, and we knew it was just us two in the building. So, and we were both in the bishop's room at the time, sat down, but you could hear it outside the door.
Did you put a camera out in the hallway?
I think we did have one out there.
We had it, I don't know if we did that time.
I think we did. I think we left it. Yeah. Could be.
Sounds like a bishop, lol. Yeah. What else happened to you there then?
Well, I was doing the Esther's method, so I had obviously the headphones on, blindfold, all that sort of thing. And I can't remember what I was saying, but But that was in the bishop's room, and Ben was obviously sat. Ben was sat on one of the beds, and I was sat in the chair by the door doing it. And I just felt something pinch me on my left arm, and I just took everything off. I was like, "What the hell was that?" I thought Ben was messing around, but he was still sat on the bed.
Oh well.
Couldn't believe it, but there was definitely something in that room with us.
I did it as well, but I couldn't hear anything on the SDS method. But obviously, I had holds on, and I could hear like footsteps, like not hear them, but like feel the vibrations of people like walking around. So yeah, that was a bit weird.
Dora's put, "You're very brave to go on the ram, just you two in the bishop's room, very active." I remember when I went there last time.
Yeah, it's a very
whole building.
I think if you take a small group of you into the ancient Ram Inn, you really get the feel, like
you get something different in each room.
How heavy it can be, and how much activity you can get in that place.
And we were getting stuff straight away. We were trying to do our intro for our video. And I put a K2 like on the side, like had it on, and the lights were going as we were doing the intro. Like,
so I just think it's almost like quite funny because obviously Paul's name is Host for Ghost. I think it actually is like Ancient Ram is literally the host for Ghost. Just feels like a lot of energy.
How about yourself, Luke? What happened to you Saturday night? Then, what were your highlights?
I don't know. I love that place so much. I feel like I'm connected to it sometimes.
Maybe
I wish I lived.
Previous life, Luke.
I've, like, I go to other paranormal haunted places. I don't feel as much as I do in there. I feel more connected to that building, and the spirits in there. It's bizarre.
It's very active. Yeah, feels busy.
I can connect to spirits. I feel like I can connect to them more than other places. I had like names come through, like Peter, and there was a Billy in there as well.
Right.
And Billy got beaten to death because he was a grass. He told me on the. I felt it like he got kicked in the head. I had it in my image in my head of it.
And did you venture on your own, Luke, or was you always with a group or a few of you, sort of thing?
It walked on me in a few times. Didn't feel scared this time though. Last time I felt scared. This time I felt I was like protected. Someone was with me, protecting me when I was walking around the prison.
As in a prison guard, or just someone you're not sure who?
No, well, it's not strange, but to me it feels like one of the Cray twins. I don't know. I feel like they protect me. I don't know, because it was in the C wing.
Right.
In C wing where they were, I felt like they were protecting me.
Took you under their wing, Luke.
Yeah. I've always been interested in the story.
Yeah, I've read a few stories on the Cray twins. A very interesting life.
Yeah.
You know, they were good in one way and bad in the other, weren't they? But you know. So what else happened, Luke?
Was it? I was with my uncle and mum, and I heard a woman say, "There's nothing in here, Ross." And I said, "Is that you speaking to my mum?" And she's like, "No, it wasn't me." And no one else was speaking at the time.
That's interesting.
But it sounded like my mum's voice though, but it wasn't her. No.
You know, you can get them. What do they call it? Doppelgangers, don't you? That can mimic voices.
Yeah. It's very strange. I think it was. It's very clear as well.
Ghost Dragon investigation, but I'm pretty sure it was just one Cray in there. I could be wrong though. I think there was two there until they had someone killed, and then they were moved. I think one went to the Isle of Wight, didn't he?
Yeah, I've heard about one of them went to the Isle of Wight.
I think after someone had been killed, they were worried that they were gathering too much power within the prison system, and I think they split. I'm sure one went to the Isle of Wight on the prison and the Isle of Wight.
Like a psych ward as well, because one was a bit. One had mental health issues, didn't he? I can't remember which one.
Yeah, but... Ronnie. It was Ronnie.
Was it Ronnie? Was it?
Yeah.
But he You know, I'm sure they split them after that had happened because they were gathering too much power within the prison service.
Yeah, but
You know, as bad as they were, but people loved them as well, didn't they?
mm.
You know. What else happened then? What else
Can
happened,
you-
boys? Go on, Luke.
Just wondering, like, can there be different eras of you in a different place? Because I felt like the Cray twins were in their younger in the prison when I was there.
Maybe.
I felt their younger selves more than the older self.
Mm.
That's
Don't
a
know if
good
you can,
question,
like-
actually.
yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
What is they could be there as younger Crays and then older Crays in the
Yeah.
same energy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, I was thinking. Yeah.
I don't actually know. If anybody out there watching,
Maybe.
say again, Ben.
Different timelines, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
But does
Well,
anybody
when-
know whether they've been there twice?
Is it like when? So say if you were in prison when you were a teenager, so you go back to that, like a flashback sort of thing,
Like, yeah, and the energy.
Yeah.
the energy or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never thought whether you could be there in a young spirit as well as an old spirit.
Mm.
I don't know if anybody's got an answer to that.
We're thinking a bit deeper again.
Well,
We're in there.
could it be that, you know,
Oh yeah, that was it, wasn't it? I got really angry, didn't I?
did you?
Yeah, at the Ram, we were on the board in the barn, and I mean, well, you guys know me as well, but Ben's obviously known me a long time, and I never get angry, but I got really angry, didn't I, on the board?
But we don't when we're investigating. We don't like shout at the spirits like they do
Nothing.
on TV. We don't like.
Yeah, we always invite them in respectfully, you know, because we're in their home, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking on the board, weren't we?
Yeah.
And something come through, and
Yeah.
it started like saying, because we were asking questions, and it just kept on going like spelling NO instead of
Yeah,
going
it
to
wasn't-
no.
Wasn't making sense.
And I was
really.
just like, I just got really angry about it for some reason, and I like completely changed, didn't I?
I
thought
didn't
about
even notice it at the time. Like,
I thought about it the next day. I thought I don't even know why that happened. It's really weird.
Unless it was just drawing on your energy.
mm,
Yeah, I'm not too
You-
sure.
Do you think you could have been sensing the energy of the spirit that were angry, and you were getting that like mannerism from it
yeah.
because it was that close?
Possibly.
Because sometimes that can happen. You can get their mannerisms take you over. So you're sitting there and you're talking to people, but you're doing this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and you never do that. Like you say, you never get angry. That's not
No.
what Ben's told us in a private conversation. You're very angry, Dave. And then you need
He's always stressing. Calm down.
no. He never said anything of the sort. I'm just joking. But sometimes spirit can come that close that you actually can feel them. You know, you actually take on what they call their mannerisms, where you would do something. It's like sometimes when you're given a reading, you know, you could be doing something, and the person you're giving the reading say, "Oh, he used to do that with his hands, or he used to do that with his finger," and you don't realise what you're doing. It's because spirit will come that close, and Angela will tell you that happens when reading, that you take on the mannerism of that spirit. So could it be that spirit was that close to you that you were feeling his anger, Dave? Do you think?
I think so. I think we had. I mean, anyone on the live who's been to the ancient ramen in the barn, we always find that barn is so active.
Yeah.
And
That's the
there's-
most active room for us.
We think that is just such a place because of the obviously being known as built on a pagan burial site. I believe there's still bodies underneath that barn that just haven't been discovered.
Yeah.
I think that's personal thinking of me.
Obviously, usually layers of it's
But
quite.
it just felt like there was like 2 or 3 spirits trying to come through, and I had my camera on the table facing outwards towards the exit of the barn. You know, when you come in and out of the barn. So I had mine facing that way because we had a REM pod in the doorway, and Ben had Ben had his face in the board, and my camera was on 3 bars, and it went straight from 3 bars to red, and it was like pretty much about to shut down. And I was like, why is my camera like? And this was just after I got angry. I was like, why is my camera about to shut down? And then just like that, Ben's camera just turned off.
And mine had
Completely
full
turned off.
battery.
He had full battery, and we went outside afterwards, and he opened his thing up and showed me, and it was working fine. But it literally just turned off. We hadn't even touched it. It was on a tripod and everything.
Wow.
So we couldn't explain that.
Yeah, that's spirit using energy. Maybe they use that energy to sort of overcome your defenses and sort of make you angry. Maybe you were feeling how that spirit felt. They were angry. Ghost Record Investigations, but one of our members left after going to the RAM and said their experience was enough for them not to do it anymore.
I don't blame them.
No, I mean, it's one of those places where you can have such an experience and you like second think of life. Really, you think, oh my god, what is actually out there? What is beyond this life that we live? Really,
there's more to it, I think.
You know.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, when we're investigating haunted locations, are we only investigating one level of that location?
Yeah.
Like you say, there's many levels, and we've come across this basically at Waverley when we go to Waverley, and Luke and Angela tell you, you know, we've got to go there, boys. We've got to take you there.
Yeah.
You know, every time we go there, it's like we uncover a different level. Literally, a different level every time. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like we started off at the very top and we're slowly working our way down the layers, if for want of a word.
Seems like a very interesting place.
Yeah.
It is. It's I don't know, because not only does it happen around Waverley, also you see strange things in the sky there.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
You know, that was the night that they thought they saw a dragon in the sky. And it was in the 14 Times, you know, that they thought they saw a dragon appear, and that was over Waverley. And of course, in many years ago, in them times, they would have had dragons as gatekeepers to protect the abbeys, to protect the castles, and all of that type of thing. But they were there one night. I mean, I wasn't there. I missed it. I think you were there, Angela?
No, I wasn't there either.
I was there.
Yeah, Luke was there. I think Dora was there. Was Darren there? Yeah.
Darren, yeah.
And Nigel, was it Nigel? I don't know.
Sure.
I think Julia was there as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, and they all, and the strangest thing is that, you know, they couldn't wait to tell us, which is brilliant, but they all drew the same thing without talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know, which you got to look at and you think, you know, wow, how can it be? So is it things that we see like dragons or negative ghosts, energy, spirits, whatever you want to call them? Do you think that's when you're getting close to the evidence and it's a warning sign?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, there was the last week, you know, both at the Ram and Shepton, there's been times when, you know, you second guess what you're doing in a way.
Yeah.
But that never stopped us. You know, it scared us at those points. It does scare us. You know, there is times when it is quite on edge.
Yeah.
But you know, it's why you do it. It's a passion, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's always like unanswered, I think.
You want to know, don't you?
Yeah.
And then it's when, I mean, I've been in situations where I'm brave. You know, it takes a lot to make my heart race and make me want to leave. But I've been in situations where I thought, I've got myself in a problem here. You know, all for the passion, all for that passion.
Yeah.
But you never really think about the danger, do you?
No.
That's the biggest issue, and it's like in America, you know, they tend to lose, and probably the same here. You can lose paranormal investigators because a situation is where you're walking along in the dark with your torch, because you're so busy looking at the end of the beam down the end of the corridor. What you haven't seen is the lift shaft gone.
Yeah.
And there's a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
because you're so busy concentrating on what you're looking for, aren't you? And we all do it. We're all guilty of it. Where we're not looking where. How many times have you done it, boys, and Luke and Andrew, where you walked along and tripped over something?
Yeah, we walked into something, or
walked in the corner of a wall, or you know
we've
that.
got cameras for night vision now, so when it's dark, we just look through the camera.
Yeah.
With the night vision.
Yeah.
But that's good.
A video game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like my night vision camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
That lights up what you're looking at, but it's not lighting the floor.
No.
And you know, you often see ghost tracking investigations. Wait till you boys Abnormal Paranormal join up on the hill. That will be interesting for you. So that would be interesting to listen to that when you do join ghost tracking investigations up on the hill. So you know, and because myself and Andrew and Jenny are down your way at the end of the month on the cryptid conference anyway. So if you're around,
Yeah.
So
Everyone up the hill.
well, I don't know about Jen going up the hill, but and that, like I was saying, you know, people do get injured in these investigations, and really, you know, safety is paramount. Right? You know, safety is number one. You know, they say, you know, never investigate on your own, just in case something happens. You know, if you fall over, break your leg, or crack an ankle, and you're on your own, that's a long, long, lonely night in a haunted location, isn't it?
Yeah, God, no. No, definitely not.
You feel your vulnerability then, won't you?
Oh, you would, yeah.
And that's why I say to a lot of people, you're investigating, it's brilliant. You know, look around, look everywhere, look up, look down, but you must always look down. Because you don't know what they took away from that building.
No.
You know, and you're so busy looking at the end of your light, thinking, come on, move. I'm sure I saw a shadow down the end of the corridor. Look, look, look. And then you drop 20 foot down a lift shaft.
That's true.
You know, so, you know, my message to everybody out there is just safety is number one priority. You're better off coming back and having nothing happen that night than not coming back and communicating from the other side.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we want.
No, don't want that.
We could do without that. We've lost enough to the other side. We don't need any more.
No.
So what else went on that night? So you had a good night at the Ram as well then?
Yes, we had a good night at the Ram at Shepton. Well, we were investigating, I think, in Sea Wing, and then I think Gemma, if she's on the live still, she come in with I think quite a new little group that obviously from the Paranation events, and we were watching them do some glass movement and stuff, and that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
We just kind of sat back and watched as they were doing that, which was quite interesting. So they had, but that was in Sea Wing. That was pretty much outside the Craze.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's by the stairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's by 7 right by the stair.
Yeah.
And that's where me and Jen had a contact with the Alice box there. Because we went there when we were there. We were both sitting on the stairs and thought we could hear knocks and taps and bits going on like you do. But it's an old prison, isn't it? You know, things do creak and move. And then the Alice box kept saying 7, 7, 7. And I said, Jen, the batteries must be going on the Alice box. He keeps saying 7.
Yeah.
And unbeknown to us, we sort of both looked left and there was cell 7. But well, that's very strange. So I thought, all right, do you want to go and sit in cell 7? And he went 7, 7, 7. All right, it goes. So sat in cell 7, pushed the door to. Jen stayed on the stairs. Nothing really. It was a tap and a knock in the room. Nothing really that you'd think, oh wow, you know. And as we came out, it went Reginald on the Alice box. We were like, Reginald, Reginald. I thought, well, okay, that's a good American soldier's name, I suppose, isn't it? American Reginald is a good American name, and didn't realise to turn around and look at the poster behind. And then we were sitting on the stairs in the Alice box, and the first time, and probably one of the only times I've heard it say, stairs, push down, I was murdered, all in one sentence. And we're like, what? and sort of read it back and went, "What? How can it come out with a sentence like that?"
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's really strange. So I made a note of it, took a picture of it. Anyway, we went back to the tour guide and said to her, "We're by cell 7." She said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "We had the name Reginald." She said, "Yeah, I can go with that." I said, "Okay." I said, and then we had a communication come through, an ITC, saying stairs pushed down, I was murdered. And she went, "How did you get that?" And I said, "Well, the bottom," I explained about the Alice box. And she said, when the Crays were in cell 7, there was a guy above them that was causing them an issue. So Reginald had a hit put on him and he was pushed down the stairs where he broke his neck.
Wow. And I'll tell you what, it'd be quite easy with those stairs to break your neck, wouldn't it? My God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're solid old steps, aren't they, then?
Oh, God, yeah.
Apparently, he was murdered there. Someone pushed him down the stairs and broke his neck.
Wow.
And that was from the Alice box. You know, that was the very first time of trying it as well.
Yeah.
Did you try any ITC equipment? Hi, Christine.
Yeah.
My daughter had a strange and weird experience at the RAM. There were spirits hid from us because of it. Oh, tell us more, Christine. Tell us more.
What was it? What was it? I'll wait.
Don't keep us dangling. It's like dangling a carrot, isn't it? So if you get a minute, Christine, please tell us. We'd be really interested. So, did you use an ITC app, Luke?
Yeah. Yeah, I used the Alice box.
How did you get on?
Alice app. It said Dave's name in the wings, the C wing.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah, I remember that now, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did you record it, Luke?
I don't think so, no.
Do any one of you write these names down as they're coming out?
I didn't write them down, no.
The log, I'm not sure the log saved it. There's a log on there. I'm not sure I saved it on the log.
Yeah, the log usually saves, I think, doesn't it, on those apps?
Yeah.
It normally does, yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes, if you have a look in my backpack, I have a writing pad.
Oh, yeah.
And I write various things down. And if I get time, I write the time and place. So when I go again, I can refer back to that. I think, oh, yeah, cell C7, you know, Reginald, pushed downstairs, I was, cells, you know, and that sort of thing, and see what time. And then you got like a diary to look back on each time. So, do you know what has happened around the same time? Have you ever thought about that?
No. We write notes on our phone sometimes, but
yeah, we do write some notes. I think I wrote some notes on the RAM when we were.
Which is good because you keep notes. It jogs your memory. Oh yeah, that's right.
We got a year when we were on the board in the barn. We got 1509.
Oh wow!
And we asked how many spirits were there, and it said 145. And then we were like, we're a bit outnumbered here. Just the two of us.
I think it's time to run, Ben. Get that engine started. But it's saying 147. You don't know, like you were saying, how many layers are under that.
Exactly, yeah.
If it's a pagan burial site, then it could well be that sort of many under there, couldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these buildings, we don't really know what's under them, do we? Christine's put, it's too complicated. My daughter released something she shouldn't have. She had to have help from a strong spirit that follows her partner to help her regain control. Oh, wow. Wow, that's interesting. And that's from Christine. Is that from the RAM that happened? If you're still on there, if you can just let us know. Be interested to hear.
We got in contact with them. Oh God.
Be interested to hear that story, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it would. Yeah,
especially there, because then it could prepare you for the next time, couldn't it? Yes, she's put. That's an interesting story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, do we really know what we're playing with when we're on the boards, or Because we're open a form of communication, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a form of communication, but
It's like being on the internet, I reckon, without protection, without a VPN.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you open that communication, and you're doing it long enough. You know. Hang on, I'm just going to cough. Sorry, I've just got a chest infection, so bear with me.
Cough it up, Paul.
Dear.
Oh, I think I've just coughed the lung up. Dear, oh dear. Oh, that's because of the heat in Spain.
Right, yeah.
Probably the rain. The rain in Spain stains mainly on the plane. But I can go with that.
Not
I
necessarily.
can very much go with that. So what else happened then, boys? That was about your night, your evening?
What, the Ram or Shetland?
Both really.
Well, like Luke was saying about the Cellbot C, that was quite interesting actually. When you had the app going, and we just sat and waited to see what was, if we could hear anything.
Heard quite a lot of noise, didn't we?
It did sound like there was someone walking around above us.
I think that was the wing. Luke, was you there when it was me, you, Dora, and Nigel, and we saw the shadow popping out from down the corridor?
Yeah,
Do
it
you
was that
remember?
wing, yeah. I heard
Right
a noise
down-
at that part as well.
Did you?
When I was walking my own, I heard a noise in the woman's bit
That's
where you saw the shadow.
Yeah.
There's a noise in there as well.
Did you go and have a look?
Yeah.
I'll tell you that's a
Like
no
a-
then, Luke. That
I
something
did,
sounds was no chance.
Only for like a minute, for like a second.
And then ran.
But I remember we were there. Hi, Graham. I received a book. I can't read that. I record in a book every EVP at Luggers Show. What's the time and what was the date? As much info as possible, which is a great to look back on. Yeah. And I do that. I have a diary in my backpack, but sometimes I tend to take it out when we're out and about in rooms, and sometimes you'll see me come back and write something in it, or I'll speak into my voice recorder, Steve Wing, such and such a time, present is Dave, Ben, Paul, whatever. And then I can listen to it and think, right, there was only the four of us, so why am I hearing six voices?
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps, doesn't it? When you're going back over the evidence, it sort of helps you separate it, doesn't it? And if you write it, like you boys saying, you often write notes in your phones. I mean, I'm not as clever as you, but I write down on a bit of paper, and I often look back at it and think, oh yeah. And then that bit of paper, if you think about your notes on your phone, where you can relate to your video footage.
Yeah.
Oh, this is 12 minutes past 11.
Mm.
It's C Wing. And if you've got the camera running, you can go back to 12 minutes past 11 and look at your camera and think, yes, there was a noise there. And that's often a good way of doing it, because you get footage, don't you? You can spend, and yourself, boys, and Angela, and how long it takes to go through footage. It can take hours and hours and hours. It took me hours to get that footage of the water tank in Norfolk with the little voice. Mum, that one. That was hours of going through footage and thinking, well, why is there no sound on the microphone? And then suddenly there's sound, and then you see something dart past the front of the camera, and then you get the voice. But that's one of them moments where you wouldn't write that down in the book because nothing happened when we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were on that platform, it was quite scary, wasn't it? A couple of occasions.
Oh god, yeah, it was. Yeah.
We had to scratch it.
When we got into the room, wasn't it itself? We started hearing things happen.
We had to bang, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a massive bang. I've not heard a bang like that. That was massive.
I've never seen Luke and Liam run so much. You notice how they were the first out the door?
Yeah.
Remember, they were the first? Us three were still there. They were out the door, weren't they? Nothing like safety in numbers. They were gone. But that was a huge bang, wasn't it?
Yeah.
especially asking for it as well, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
You know, suddenly you get that bang, and it was like when we were standing on the platform, wasn't it? Where it was getting darker and darker,
Mm.
and, you know, and we had that scratching, like someone was scratching themselves.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
think it was you, Dave, that you felt someone touch you
yeah.
or touch your arm,
It was
something.
very weird in that tank. I mean, when we were in there, I mean, nobody confessed to the scratching. So whatever that was, I have no idea. But that
No.
was, like, I didn't know whether to laugh or be like, "What the hell is that?" Or
Yeah. I think
You know.
sometimes it's disbelief. You think, did I really hear that? Nobody else has mentioned it.
Yeah.
And you sort of question yourself. But once you mention it, everybody says, I did actually hear that. And then you're trying to find out who it was. But nobody ever owned up to it, did they? But it was a very, very audible scratching.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
going to have to pop off now and go and get Ben.
Okay.
So you with Jack.
Yeah,
Jack,
we're nearly
okay.
done anyway.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Get stuck on my leg.
Go and sit down.
So will you be going back to the Ram again then, boys? Or
Definitely.
Yeah,
100,000,000%.
Yeah.
I always feel like with the Ram, it's one of those pieces where you've always got to go back for more. It's like unfinished business.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Because I was just looking on my notes actually, and when we were walking towards the bishop's room, we could both smell burning,
Yeah.
like
For a split second.
clear, like
yeah.
burning smell. And we both looked at each other. Can you smell that?
Yeah.
It smells like burning.
But it's quite common there as well.
Yeah.
All right.
That was interesting. That was an interesting moment as well.
Ghost Dragon Investigations. Do you know? Did you know that Northfort they have an electronic system that goes off, which sounds like a whistle? Only just been made aware of this, which changes some of our evidence. No, we didn't. Wasn't aware of that.
Isn't it? Your phone went
Oh
weird.
yeah.
So
Yeah, my phone. Remember, Paul? I said to you about my phone, didn't I?
You
It,
did.
Like completely blocked me out of my phone when I walked
Yeah.
through that nuclear bunker.
yeah. So that's-
It did, yeah. You said he locked you out, didn't it?
Yeah,
For an hour or whatever.
It knocked me out for an hour.
That's
I don't even know
got
why.
to be something to do with like jammer or something.
And I hadn't even had my phone out because I literally was looking to what the time was on my phone. And I had nothing else in my pocket in that pocket but my phone. Pulled it out,
Yeah.
and I said, "Look, Ben." I said, "What's this?"
Buggered.
I was like, "Why is my phone blocked?"
Strange, isn't it?
Well, that
Really
was-
strange.
yeah.
Yeah. That's odd place. I enjoyed that fault.
Yeah, it's quite
It was
good.
interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting place. But it's interesting, like Ghost Dragon Investigation saying there's some electronic equipment there that can cause whistle. So, you know, it sort of backs up why your phone was blocked then, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so. It was.
You know, that sort of debunks that bit, doesn't it, really? So, Luke, anything else to add on your way round Saturday?
Not sure if Ben and Dave were there, but it kept getting darker. I don't know if the two ends of the cell kept getting darker and darker. I'm not sure if Ben and Dave were there or not.
I think that was B-wing, Luke. I think
Was
I
it?
remember we were having this.
Was you there? Yeah.
It's when we were just sat there with the equipment down. And didn't the cat ball go off in B-wing as well? I think it did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It did. And but the bottom of it looked really dark. It was just getting darker and darker and darker down at the end of B-wing.
It was, yeah.
My REM pod went off, didn't it?
Yeah.
By the,
Oh yeah, Ben's REM pod
by
went
the
off
door.
as well. Yeah.
That's
I think
strange.
there was a very powerful energy in B-wing.
Yeah.
There is a very powerful energy.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ghost Dragon Investigation said it's an MOD land anyway there.
yeah, it's
So
obviously
it wouldn't surprise you if there's something there, would it?
like jammers. Yeah.
Yeah, they obviously don't. Maybe they don't want people to know your location or wherever, but it's
Possibly.
obviously a reason they jam it, isn't it?
Mm.
Don't know. What else, Luke?
Yeah, that bit, really.
About it, really. Yeah.
I think it was. I think I must have had. I want to go back there again at some point. I like that place a lot.
Yeah, I was really gutted I couldn't get there. I really, if I was well enough to be able to get on the bike for 2.5 hours, then I would have done. But having fighting his chest infection, You know, I haven't been very well at all, really. So there's just no way I could have sat there for 2.5 hours on the bike, spent until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then 2.5 hours all the way back. You know, I'd have just been a wreck. You know, it's just sometimes, as much as you miss it, it's you need a bit of downtime, don't you? A bit of time away just to recoup. So I'm not sure. What's the next one coming up? Oxford Castle, isn't it?
The castle, yeah, start of next month, isn't it?
Yeah, we're
Are
probably
you on that? Are you on that, boys?
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, we're booked for that one. Yeah, so
All being well, me and myself and Jen should be there,
Yeah.
and Luke. Was anyone around Julia when she said
the laser
when
video.
she did the laser video?
Yeah, me, Luke, and Ben were all there.
Sat behind.
When the laser was going off, Luke, remember that, can't you?
No, I didn't remember that bit.
You were there? Or maybe it
I was
before
with you.
I can't remember. Because you come in about halfway through when we were all investigating there, I think, weren't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you just walked in, I think.
Is that in B Wing again or C Wing?
Yeah, because we were saying earlier, we were on the table behind Julia, Mark, and his partner.
That's where we did the board as well.
But that was on the same table was where they had their light, their laser light shining down the end of B Wing was where we done the board session. That's why I think there was a very powerful energy around there. But yeah, we were there when her light was getting affected.
Oh, nice.
That was strange. That was very strange. That was
good evidence, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was good evidence. Yeah, I couldn't believe it really. And I think her the cat ball, she put a cat ball down as well, and you could see it moving slightly when it was going off. So it was actually getting moved.
Did you try the ping pong balls?
She was doing that, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was doing that. Yeah.
Have you got any video footage of the pen whilst it was going on and off?
Don't think we have.
We haven't personally because we were on the next table down in the wing, so we wouldn't have anything close on the actual table. I don't know if Julia or
there's a good chance Julia might have that.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not too sure.
We'll get her to put it on here next week or something, so we can all have a look.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see. Yeah. Anyway,
Dave was a bit funny at first.
It's what?
Dave looked at me a bit spaced out at one point. I'd say he was okay.
Being overshadowed, Dave.
I just think in B Wing there was just something trying to definitely trying to mess around with a bit. And when we went back there, I remember that Luke was like, "You're all right. You look spaced out."
Luke, was you getting all worried?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Anyway, no, there was obviously no other comments. So, anything to add, boys, from Saturday? You ram, or you want to add on to the video tonight?
No,
we've got so much
we've got a lot of video footage to go through, and obviously,
can't wait.
If we get some stuff, we'll send it through, and we can talk about it on the live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great investigation by Paranormal on the weekend again, and obviously,
good.
You know,
Good, well done. Well done, and you all came back safe, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Which is what we like to see. So if there's no more comments, we'd like to say a big thank you for tuning in on the Monday Night Paranormal Live. Thank you for all your questions and answers and joining, and thanks to Abnormal Paranormal and Luke again. It sounds like you had a great Tuesday night, Saturday night. Them boys, they're passionate about it, and they Tuesday and a Saturday night. Go Sunny.
We love it.
You must have really good jobs, boys. That's all I can say. Very understanding bosses. Anyway, so it only remains for me to say thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll be back next Monday at the normal time, and we're talking about investigations. So if there's subjects you'd like us to talk about, please join us. Ping us a message, myself or Angela, and we can put it in the chat. Or if you have any videos accompanying Saturday night's investigation at Shepton Mullet, please bring them on and we can show them and you can explain and talk about them. Or even if you want to come on and join a guest panel one night, that's perfectly fine with us. Come on, tell us about your group, tell us about your investigations, where you've been and what you love doing and the locations. So it only remains for me to say thank you all for tuning in tonight. And it's been an absolute pleasure listening to you, boys. Your adventures for Tuesday and Saturday. Well done, Luke. You're alive. Kept going.
Yeah.
Alive and well.
You didn't get caught. You just watched Dave change.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, only most of you say thank you and take care and have a very safe week, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.